Your daughter isn't welcome, so I made them pay for the wedding they tried to hide from us. My name is Athena Sinclair. I'm 34 years old and I have a 6-year-old daughter named Lily. 3 months ago, I flew 18 hours from London to Tennessee for my younger sister Brooke's wedding. But when I arrived at the venue, dressed for the ceremony and holding my daughter's tiny hand, my own mother stood in front of the entrance and told us to leave. Not because we were late, not because we caused trouble, because Lily wasn't invited. And then my mother said something I will never forget. She'll ruin the wedding. My daughter looked up at me with tears in her eyes. She had no idea that behind that barn door, every flower, every plate, every photograph, and every light had been paid for with my name. And 3 days later, when my mother called demanding I pay a $38,000 wedding bill, she learned what happens when you treat someone like they don't belong. But before I tell you how I made them regret it, please like and subscribe if you enjoy stories about family betrayal, boundaries, and revenge. Now let me take you back to the beginning. My sister Brooke was 26 when she got engaged to Garrett Caldwell. Garrett came from one of the wealthiest families in Cedar Bluff, Tennessee. His parents owned car dealerships, land, and half the town's business connections. My mother, Diane, was obsessed with impressing them. She wanted everything perfect. The perfect venue, the perfect flowers, the perfect bride, the perfect family. And apparently my 6-year-old daughter did not fit into that picture. When Brooke called to announce her engagement, I was genuinely happy for her. Of course I'll come, I told her. Lily is so excited to be a flower girl. There was a pause. Then Brooke said quietly, Mom has some ideas about the wedding. That should have warned me. A few weeks later Diane called me. She said the vendors needed someone with good credit to sign the contracts. The venue, caterer, florist, and photographer. Total cost, $41,000. The deposits were small, but the final balances would be charged after the wedding. You have the best credit, Diane said. It's just paperwork. We'll pay the bills afterward. I should have said no, but I was the older sister. The responsible one. The daughter who had a stable job, a good salary, and a habit of fixing problems nobody else wanted to handle. So I signed every contract, every vendor agreement, every payment authorization. My name, my credit card, my responsibility. For 3 months I watched the wedding planning from London. Brooke had a group chat with her bridesmaids. I wasn't in it. She posted dress fittings, rehearsal dinner photos, and bridal shower pictures. Lily and I were never invited, so I told myself it was fine. Maybe they were busy. Maybe they assumed I understood. Maybe family didn't need formal invitations. Then 2 weeks before the wedding I asked Brooke what color Lily should wear. Her answer came 20 minutes later. Mom thinks it would be better if Lily doesn't come. I stared at the message. What do you mean? Another pause. Then, Brooke doesn't really like kids at formal events. And Lily can be energetic. My daughter was 6. She was polite, quiet around strangers, and had spent weeks practicing how to sprinkle flower petals. She had a little white dress hanging in her closet. She called it her princess dress. I called Diane immediately. Why isn't Lily invited? My mother sighed like I was creating a problem. Athena, don't make this difficult. She's your granddaughter. She's 6. The wedding is elegant. There will be expensive decorations, speeches, photographs. Brooke doesn't want children running around. Other children are coming. Well, yes, Diane said quickly. Garrett's nieces and nephews. Some cousins. So every child can come except mine? Silence. Then Diane said the words that changed everything. Lily will ruin the wedding. I felt my throat tighten. My daughter was sitting at the kitchen table beside me, coloring a picture of herself in a white dress. She looked up and smiled. Is Grandma excited to see me? She asked. I couldn't answer. But I still went. I told myself I would attend alone. I told myself I could leave Lily with a babysitter at the hotel for a few hours. I hated the idea, but I didn't want my daughter to think she was the reason I missed her aunt's wedding. Then Lily looked at me the night before the ceremony. She held up her little flower basket. Mommy, if Aunt Brooke doesn't want me there, is it because I'm bad? I felt something break inside me. I knelt in front of her. No, sweetheart, I said. You are not bad. You are wonderful. The next morning I put on my navy dress. Lily wore her white dress anyway. Not because we were going inside. Because I wanted her to know she deserved to feel beautiful. We drove to Meadow Creek Barn together. The venue looked like something from a wedding magazine. White fences. Fairy lights. Flowers everywhere. Guests were arriving with children. Little boys in bow ties. Little girls in pastel dresses. Kids laughing and chasing each other across the grass. Lily saw them through the car window. Mommy, she whispered, they brought their kids. I know, I said. I held her hand and walked toward the entrance. My mother was waiting near the barn doors. She looked at Lily first, then at me. Her smile disappeared. Athena, she said sharply. What is she doing here? Lily squeezed my hand. She came with me, I said. I told you she wasn't invited. Every other child is here. That's different. How? Diane stepped closer. Garrett's family has children. Brooke had to include them. And Lily? She doesn't know how to behave at a wedding. My daughter heard every word. Her face changed. She didn't cry. That was worse. She just looked down at her little white shoes. Then Diane leaned close to me and whispered, if you bring her inside she'll ruin everything. I looked through the open barn doors. White chairs. Fresh flowers. A string quartet. The wedding I had signed for. The wedding I had funded. The wedding my daughter was too embarrassing to attend. My father stood behind Diane. He looked at Lily. Then he looked away. Brooke appeared in the doorway in her wedding dress. For 1 second I thought she might defend us. Instead she said, Athena, please don't do this today. Do what? I asked. Make it about you. Lily's hand slipped out of mine. She walked toward Brooke slowly. Aunt Brooke, she said softly, I brought you a picture. She held out a folded piece of paper. On it she had drawn Brooke in a wedding dress. And herself beside her holding flowers. Brooke looked at it. Then she looked at my mother. Dan shook her head. Brooke didn't take the picture. She said, maybe later, Lily. Then she walked back inside. My daughter stood there holding that drawing. That was the moment I stopped asking to be included. I crouched beside Lily. Do you want to go get ice cream? I asked. Her eyes filled with tears but she nodded. Yes, Mommy. I stood up and looked at my mother. You're right, I said calmly. Lily won't ruin this wedding. Diane looked relieved. She thought she had won. Then I added, but neither will I. I took Lily's hand and walked away. No screaming. No scene. No begging. Just silence. That night, after Lily fell asleep in the hotel room, I opened my laptop. 4 vendor invoices were waiting in my email. Meadow Creek Barn, $14,800. Catering, $12,600. Flowers, $6,200. Photography, $4,400. Total, $38,000. All due within 5 days. All under my name. I stared at the numbers for a long time. Then I opened Brooke's wedding photos. There she was. Smiling. Dancing. Standing with my parents and Garrett's family. In every picture they looked like a perfect family. My daughter and I were nowhere. Then I saw the caption. Surrounded by everyone who matters. I read it once. Then twice. Then I picked up my phone. The next morning I called the venue. Hi, I said. My name is Athena Sinclair. I'm the contract holder for the Caldwell Sinclair wedding. Oh yes, the manager said. Beautiful event. I'm calling to remove my payment authorization. Pause. I'm sorry. I did not attend the event. My daughter and I were denied entry. I will not authorize the remaining balance. The manager was quiet. Then she said, we'll need to contact the event hosts. Please do. I called the caterer. Then the florist. Then the photographer. Same words. Same calm voice. I will not authorize the payment. I didn't threaten anyone. I didn't insult anyone. I simply refused to pay for a celebration that had excluded my child. 3 days later my mother called. Her voice was sweet at first. Athena, honey, there's been some confusion with the vendors. No confusion. They're saying you removed your card. I did. The final bill is $38,000. I know. How are we supposed to pay that? I looked across the hotel room. Lily was sitting on the bed, coloring another picture. This time it was just the two of us. Mom, I said, you told me my daughter would ruin the wedding. That's not what I meant. You said she wasn't family enough to come inside. Athena, don't be dramatic. No, I said. You don't get to call my daughter a problem, throw her out, take my money, and then call me dramatic when the bill arrives. Her voice changed. Your father is stressed. Brooke is crying. Garrett's family is asking questions. Good, I said quietly. Maybe they should ask why the woman who paid for the wedding was standing outside with her 6-year-old daughter. My mother went silent. Then she said, you're punishing Brooke. No. I'm protecting Lily. The next day, Garrett's mother called Diane. She had heard what happened. She had seen photos of children at the wedding. She asked one question. Why was Athena's daughter the only child not welcome? Diane had no answer. Garrett found out that Brooke knew Lily had been excluded. Their first serious fight as a married couple happened over a little girl with a flower basket and a drawing nobody bothered to take. The Caldwells refused to pay the $38,000. Brooke and Garrett had to take out a loan. My parents used part of their retirement savings. And suddenly the perfect wedding came with monthly payments. But the real revenge wasn't the bill. The real revenge was that everyone finally knew the truth. They learned that Diane Sinclair had 2 daughters. One she proudly displayed. And one she only remembered when she needed a signature. A month later, Brooke texted me. He said she was sorry. Then she asked if I could help with the loan. I wrote back, "I'm sorry you're struggling. But I will not spend money to teach my daughter that she deserves less than everyone else's child." She never replied. 6 months have passed. Lily still has that white dress. Sometimes she wears it around the apartment and pretends she is going to a ball. But now when she asks if she is invited, I tell her the truth. You are invited everywhere you are loved. And if someone cannot make room for my daughter, they do not get access to me. Because a boundary is not revenge. It is the moment you stop paying for a seat at a table that was never built for you. So tell me, if you were Athena, would you have paid the $38,000? Or would you have chosen your daughter and walked away? Comment, pay or boundary. And remember, nobody gets to tell your child they don't belong, not even family.
Thank you for taking the time to listen to today's story. I truly appreciate your comments, feedback, and thoughts. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to support the channel. See you again in the next stories.